Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jenna Liston.
And I'm Nick Ciano. Thanks for joining us.
So Nick, a rising issue at Ball State's campus is allowing firearms on campus ground.
That's right. I know some groups on campus are becoming increasingly vocal on the matter. Bree Isom joins us now. Bree, what else can you tell us?
Well, some students on the Ball State campus believe that concealed firearms should be allowed. Their proposition is currently hoping to be seen by the Office of Student Life here at Ball State. Joan Todd, the Executive Director of Public Relations, states, "I can tell you that there is a Ball State policy that prohibits the possession of firearms and other weapons on the university property. This applies to faculty, professional personnel, and staff employees, as well as students, visitors, and guests on campus. As such, it is a blanket proposition with very few exceptions. For example, university police officers. The Ball State policy is consistent with those policies adopted by other state universities in Indiana and state law. The university will, of course, always follow the law." I talked to students who had different opinions on the use of firearms on campus.
The gun issue is kind of, dilemma on college campuses today, but I think that should be okay in certain circumstances, such as, nighttime and other things.
I would say, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I would feel safe on campus if people had guns, just because not necessarily would everybody be in control of it. I feel like people might take advantage of it maybe.
If you want to know more, visit bsu.edu and search Student Rights and Policies to see Ball State's view on gun rights. I am Bree Isom, and this is NewsLink Indiana. Back to you guys.
News broke this Friday regarding the SGA slate appeals. Joining us now is Payne Horning. Payne, thank you for joining us.
Nick, always good to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about the fines that these slates are facing right now?
Well, it wouldn't be a Student Government Association election at Ball State without a few fines along the way, okay? So basically, there's an elections board that monitors the campaign activity of the slates that are vying for your vote. And they have come down with 3 different fines on 2 different slates. Now, those slates are being fined $50 apiece for early campaigning, and they're also being fined, one of them, for putting up posters on a wall as opposed to a bulletin board.
Okay, now I know one of the slates is being fined because of their Facebook page. However, I know they just made that a few months in advance. Why are they still being fined for that?
Well, as of Friday, they were rather contesting every single fine, but now the one about the posters has been proven, or there was a miscommunication on their part, and that was BSU Cardinal Direction, so they're dropping that appeal. But they are saying that BSU Cardinal Direction is saying that basically what they did was they created a Facebook page in 2014 to reserve their name so no one else could take it. They didn't upload the information online, though, so no one could see it. And Ball State Atlas, which is also being fined $50 for early campaigning, posted photos on their Facebook page, and actually they were uploaded, but they weren't posted, so you couldn't see them publicly. And they're saying that by fining us $50 for doing this 2 hours before the close of nomination convention, the official start to the campaign, that's not fair to fine Cardinal Direction $50 since their page was created 40 days ago.
Okay, and why does this issue really matter to us as students at Ball State?
Well, each slate consists of a presidential candidate, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And these people, if they win, they have part of their tuition covered. And they're operating on a 6-figure budget that comes from our tuition. So it's very important that you pay attention to this race and participate because it's your tuition dollars that they're using to enact their reforms.
All right, and lastly, looking forward, what do we have to expect in these cases and the election itself?
I would say chaos, fireworks. Okay, well, in all honesty, the appeals will now be sent to the Judicial Board, which is separate from the Elections Board, and that date for those appeals has not been set. But in terms of the election, everyone should watch for the all-slate debate, which is taking place at Bruce Hall tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And of course, WCRD will have live coverage, and I'll be there along with them.
All right, thanks again for joining us, Payne.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, Nick, I don't know about you, but the past few days have just gotten me more and more excited about spring break. Adam, can you tell us a little bit more about the weather coming up?
Yeah, looks like some southern areas for spring break should be good, but right here in Muncie, we are experiencing some cold temperatures and well below average temperatures for this time of month. Just looking at temperatures here in Muncie right now, we have seen temperatures around 11 degrees right now, and currently sitting at 9 degrees with winds from the northeast at 6 miles an hour. Now with this wind, we are feeling a wind chill of -1 degrees, and that's pretty chilly outside right now, and we could see chillier later this week. But in the last 14 hours, we have seen cloud covers throughout all state, which has been keeping the temperatures relatively even throughout the entire day. But coming up, I'll talk about some cooler temperatures on the way, some possibility of snow in our forecast, as well as your 7-day forecast. All that and more coming up, but first, back to you at the desk.
Ball State is looking to improve its School of Science and Health. The Cooper Science Complex, which houses these departments, has noted a number of deficiencies. NewsLink Indiana's Tony Sandlaben reports.
Ball State's Cooper Science Complex is expected to go under renovation. With outdated technology, missing floor tiles, and hazardous ice machines with no ice, science majors have stated they're ready for a change.
What I think could be most improved would be better laboratory space in general, especially for biology. For instance, I'm in genetics right now, and our microscopes that we use look like they're from the 50s or the 60s.
Currently, the labs are kind of dingy, stuff's falling apart, it's dirty, the hoods aren't very efficient, so we get a lot of backdraft with chemical smells, and I think renovating Cooper for this new health college would be very beneficial.
Among the things that need improved in Cooper Science Complex are these, the hoods. Now these hoods aren't properly set up, which means a lot of times they pressurize the building and in some cases can even blow the doors open. Gregory Graham is the director of facilities planning at Ball State. He says it is still too early in the process to make any guarantees and could be a long time before plans materialize.
The design work itself will probably take, I'm going to say, somewhere around 12 months plus or minus, and then construction work will probably take, I would guess, probably 24 months, give or take.
The science department has been noted for deficiencies. However, Ball State is still awaiting word on how much funding the state of Indiana will provide. In Muncie, Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink, Indiana.
Ball State is awaiting word from the state of Indiana on how much funding they will receive for this project. That announcement is expected by the end of the spring semester.
Indiana Schools Chief Glenda Ritz arrived at the State House to rally for public education, making an appearance to fire back at Governor Mike Pence and Republican legislators who want to limit her power. Ritz is locked in a partisan battle for control of education policy in Indiana. She's the target of legislation that would remove her as the de facto chair of the State Board of Education, whose other members are appointed by the governor. A Senate bill that would end Ritz's stewardship over the board was on Monday's legislative agenda, but it was not called for a vote. Governor Pence has made it clear that he would prefer the state superintendent be transformed into a position appointed by the governor. He said Ritz is a cause of dysfunction on the Board of Education. Ritz said she was chosen by the people of Indiana and she intends to enact her platform.
Indiana House of Republicans have proposed a $31.3 billion budget that overhauls education funding. School funding would increase to $469 million over the next 2 years, more than double the $201 million plan proposed by Governor Mike Pence. As a result, Hamilton Southeastern, one of the state's largest suburban districts, would receive $24 million more over the next 2 years. However, Indianapolis Public Schools would lose $18 million over that same time period. The Ways and Means Committee is expected to vote on the proposal by Thursday at the latest.
Coming up on NewsLink, a 3-hour pileup on I-69 left many stranded.
And find out where more than 600 jobs are being created for Hoosiers. Up next.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
From the Ball State News Center, you're watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. A West Virginia train containing over 100 cars filled with crude oil derailed today after 1 p.m. The incident caused massive fires and multiple explosions. At least one home has caught fire and has been destroyed. The train was traveling from North Dakota and was en route to Yorktown, Virginia. At least 15 of the train's cars were involved in a derailment and fire. So far, no injuries have been reported.
We were standing down on the riverbank when we saw the train explode, well, a car explode, and it shot up a mushroom cloud about as high as those plume is now, like that.
Continue this in a second. Did you get a picture of that? Man, that's hot.
West Virginia Governor Earl Tomblin has since declared a state of emergency, and all 100 people have been evacuated.
On Saturday, traffic stood still on I-69 around the 248-mile marker for 3 hours when more than 20 vehicles were involved in a pileup. The accident involved several trucks and even a school bus. Indiana State Police said in a report that the school bus actually caused the accident when it rear-ended a minivan in front of it. 6 people were taken to IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital for injuries, but only one of them has major injuries.
Delaware County's Progress Rail is approaching its goal of creating 650 jobs. The company started in Muncie during the 2008 recession and has faced criticism for importing Canadian laborers and slashing its workers' wages. It has since increased pay in the number of local workers employed at the plant. Progress Rail continues to receive contracts for work, including passenger trains destined for overseas. The company hasn't stopped hiring and plans to meet its employment goal by the end of the year.
Former Muncie Community Schools Administrator Donald Slaughter died last week. Slaughter was a World War II veteran who attended Ball State University on the GI Bill. He was the first principal of Northside High School and only remained in that position for a year before being named Muncie's Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Education in 1971. In 1974, he became Superintendent of Muncie Schools and remained in that position until his retirement in 1989. Upon his retirement, he was awarded a Sagamore of the Wabash. He was 87 years old. Next up on NewsLink, we take a look at weather in the area. Stay tuned.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Temperatures are supposed to drop quite a bit tonight. Adam, do you think we could see some snow in the morning?
We will see some flurries here and there throughout tonight and into early tomorrow morning, as I'll talk about soon. But for today, we only got up to a high of 14 degrees. Now that is 24 degrees below average of 38 degrees for this time of year, and we are going to continue to see that trend for the rest of this week because of this massive air mass out of Canada, all the way down to southern Great Plains, Dallas-Fort Worth at 34 is feeling this cold weather. But right here in your hometown in Muncie, across Indiana, we are seeing well below average temperatures still. Fort Wayne is at 5 degrees, Indianapolis right sitting at 0, Bloomington at 4 degrees, and these temperatures are even chillier with the wind chill.
With right now in Muncie, we are at 9 degrees, and with the winds out of the northeast at 6 miles an hour, we are seeing that wind chill at -1 below zero. So you will want to stay warm tonight and it's wrapped up. To our south, we've been experiencing a winter storm in southern Indiana, some areas receiving 5 to even 7 inches of snow. But as that winter storm continues to move to the east, we will see some clouds move in on Tuesday with some chance of those flurries on Tuesday evening. Now we won't see much accumulation, possibly just under 1/2 inch. So you'll want to definitely watch those back roads as you take your evening commutes on Tuesday. But for tonight, we are going to see a low of 8 degrees. And because of these wind chills out of the northeast at 3 to 7 miles an hour, we will see some pretty chilly wind chills. And then for tomorrow, we'll see a high of 21 degrees. And then for the 7-day forecast, we are going to see even colder temperatures. Wednesday, high of 10 degrees. Thursday, only a high of 5 degrees. And some windy conditions will cause well below zero temperatures. And then for the rest of the week and into the weekend, we are going to see a slight warm up. Friday, a high of 20 degrees. And then Saturday, our next chance of snow. But for the remainder of this week, you'll definitely want to stay bundled up and wear those jackets out to class.
All right, thanks, Adam. Up next on NewsLink Sports, a Valentine's Day doubleheader.
And the Tiger Invitational hosted by Auburn for women's softball. Stay with us.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
From the Ball State News Center, you're watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Caitlin Ewing with sports. Over the weekend, Ball State men's and women's basketball hosted a doubleheader on Valentine's Day. NewsLink Indiana's Aaliyah English has the results.
Saturday, Ball State's men and women's basketball team went head-to-head with Bowling Green and Worthern Arena.
The women took to the court first, establishing a lead from the start, beating Bowling Green 77-52. Senior guard Shelby Justice led the team to victory with 21 points, scoring her 1,000th point of her Cardinal career.
All in all, pretty good afternoon, and this kid here to my right, kind of apropos that she would play the way she did and break 1,000.
The men were looking to keep this momentum going, but were no match for Bowling Green's Rashawn Holmes, who led the team with 20 points and 7 rebounds. Cardinals did not go down without a fight, but their fight was just not good enough. Bowling Green defeated Ball State 79-65.
With this win, the Ball State women's basketball team is now 13-10 on the season. This win also places them in first place in the MAC West Conference. On the other hand, Ball State's men's basketball team is now 7-16. Both will be in action again on Wednesday. In Muncie, Aaliyah English, NewsLink Indiana.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Staying with women's basketball, Natalie Fontaine was named the Mid-American Conference West Division Player of the Week, marking the 6th time she has earned that honor. Ball State baseball opened their season in North Carolina to play in the Buffalo Wild Wings Battle at the Beach this weekend. On Friday, Ball State faced off first against Kentucky. The Cardinals were down early in the game, going into the bottom of the 6th 9-0. The Cardinals rallied back there for 2 runs. Ball State also pulled together during the 8th inning, getting 5 runs. In the end, the Cardinals couldn't stop the Wildcat offense that managed to get 11 runs on 17 hits. Kentucky won on the game 11-7. On Saturday, the Cardinals played against the host of the Beach tournament, UNC Wilmington. Ball State fell short again in the beginning of the game, behind 4-0 through 4 innings. But again, the Cardinals rallied for 2 runs at the top of the 6th to close the gap. But the Cardinals couldn't pull through, losing to the Seahawks 4-2. Ball State baseball now falls 0-2 on the season. They play next on Friday at the Country Inn and Suites Ellen Invitational. Ball State softball was also away this weekend at the Tiger Invitational hosted by Auburn. The Cardinals went 2-3 over the weekend, winning against Mercer 9-1 and Eastern Illinois 4-3.
with the losses against Georgia State 10-4, Auburn 12-1, and Winthrop 10-1. They started off on Friday against Georgia State. The Panthers became out of reach when they stacked up 5 runs over 3 innings, winning 10-4. They next took on number 17 and host team Auburn. The Tigers started off hot thanks to a grand slam and continued their momentum, winning 12-1. On Saturday, Ball State started off the day on a win against Mercer. Their bats were connecting Saturday with multiple blasts from the Cardinals. They won over the Bears 9-1. The next game was against Winthrop, where the Cardinals' bats fell silent this time, losing 10-1. But Ball State saw another win at the Tiger Invite against Eastern Illinois 4-3. With the win, the Cardinals improved their record 5-4 on the year. And finally, guys, this morning, Ball State Athletics announced the newest field hockey coach to take over the program, Sally Northcroft, a 2-time All-American for the Cardinals.
All right, thank you very much, Caitlin. Live in New York, and 40 years later, a Saturday night TV staple celebrates its anniversary.
And stay with us as we head to the second star on the right and straight on until 9:30.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
State News Center. You're watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I am Moye Whitehead with tonight's entertainment news. Can't get enough of this childhood classic? The Muncie Civic Theater is bringing Peter Pan to the main stage February 19th through 22nd, 26th through 28th, and March 1st. Audience members will follow Peter and Tinkerbell as they visit the nursery of the Darling Children late one night, and with a sprinkle of pixie dust begin a magical journey across the stars that none of them will ever forget. In this once-in-a-lifetime adventure, the two will come face-to-face with a ticking crocodile, a pirate, and a villainous Captain Hook. Each show starts at 7:30 p.m. with ticket prices being $16 for adults, $13 for groups of 10 or more, and $11 for students and children. Reserved seating is available. Saturday Night Live celebrated 40 years last night. NewsLink's Olivia McClellan asked students about what they thought of the television event.
Olivia McClellan with your NewsLink quick question of the night. Last night on NBC, the 40th anniversary show of Saturday Night Live took place. I interviewed students and asked them what they thought about the show.
My favorite part was when they showed actually everyone auditioning to be on SNL, so it was like all the big stars of SNL, it showed their audition tapes, so that was really fun to see.
The best part about SNL, the 40th anniversary, is probably Wayne's World at the end. The joking back and forth with Kanye West and stuff like that was really funny to me, so I appreciated it.
Well, I watched part of it, so I was kind of sad that I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I was very upset that NSYNC did not perform because I heard about that and I was really excited. It was reminding me of the VMAs a couple years ago, so that was really disappointing.
Definitely gotta be the live music. That's always my favorite part. So.
And that was your NewsLink quick question of the night. In Muncie, Olivia McClellan, NewsLink Indiana.
That's all for tonight's entertainment news. I am Moye Whitehead.
Thank you, Moye. Let's take a final look at weather, Adam.
Thank you. This week we have experienced cold temperatures, and that will remain throughout the rest of this week, with the coldest coming on Thursday. Only that high of 5 degrees forecasted, and winds will be gusty that day, so we'll have wind chills well below 0, and then we could see our next chance of snow on that weekend on Saturday with a high of 32.
All right, that's all we have for you tonight on NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. here right on Cardinal Vision.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.
Sorry about that bad transition. Ugh.